Hey, everybody, welcome to the Poachers Pickleball Podcast. We've got Matt and Spencer. Spencer, how are you?
I'm good. We just had what was supposedly fall break at Utah Tech as I'm wrapping up my degree, but it was not a break because we had five home games this weekend. So I broadcasted five games this weekend.
Yeah, for those that
So
don't know, if
I'm
you're
really
new,
tired.
yeah, if you're new to this, Spencer does the men's and women's soccer games for Utah Tech, the home games.
Yep.
He is the commentator. I don't know. Is that what you're called? I don't know.
Yeah, like play by play
Podcaster,
for,
play-by-play. He's the
yeah.
play-by-play guy, and he's awesome. So if you guys like soccer, go check him out on ESPN Plus. Any of the Utah Tech soccer games, home games. Anyway, so yeah, so he's been a little crazy. So that's why we missed you last week. I was too lazy to do it by myself, and Spencer was way too crazy to hop on this podcast. So, but we're here. We've got some recaps to do, a little bit of a preview to do, even though the PPA isn't back. There's off for the week. There is some stuff going on this weekend if you're itching to watch pickleball like myself. So we'll get to that. But let's hear Spencer a little recap of what happened at the PPA Virginia Beach Cup.
Yeah, Virginia Beach. Anna Leigh Waters wins a historic 36th Triple Crown, which that's a lot. Uh, Yeah, clinching her 36th Triple Crown, closed the gap with Ben Johns for the all-time PPA gold. Waters currently has 162. Johns has 164, so that's really close. Also, where do they put all of these like medals and stuff? That is
They
a
got
lot of
you
medals.
got to put him in a warehouse or something.
Singles, women's doubles, and she won those with Anna Bright, and then mixed doubles with Ben Johns.
Yeah, so
So
the problem is
kind of the highlight.
she's chasing her partner for those goals. So every
Yeah.
every time she wins with Johns, then that's one more she has to make up on the singles. And the thing is, Ben wins quite a bit on the men's doubles as well. He did win this week with Gabe Tardio. So anyway, but yeah, it's pretty insane. They're basically again they're the goats of pickleball, men's and women's. There's no question, and it might be a very long time before anyone comes close to that. So. But it was. I'm not going to talk a ton about the tournament. It was pretty chalk for the most of it, and I don't think there was a ton of crazy things that happened that are worth mentioning, except for maybe the weather. Like
Oh yeah.
it was crazy. They just there was. This is just that time of year on the East Coast, especially. Where you've seen this with like football games, it'll get lightning in the area. Everyone will have to leave the stadium for like an hour or two. And they kind of knew that was going to happen on Saturday and Sunday. So they moved up some of the mixed doubles and they did their best. But what we ultimately got was a finals Monday for some of the finals. The funny thing about it was if you're on the West Coast like we are, or at least in Mountain Time, it was done by like 8 in the morning. So
Oh,
on Monday.
that's
So
too
you're
early.
like you have to get up pretty early to watch.
That's too early for me.
Yeah, too early for me. Although you can watch the replays and stuff, but the problem is, I don't know. How are you if you know the outcome of a game? Like, let's say it's the Braves you want to watch or something, a game you want to watch, but you know the outcome. Like, uh, you're trying to like stay radio silent. Somehow your buddy texts you and says, "Oh, dude, this guy, what a walk off homer," and then you're like, "Great." Do you want go back and watch it, or what do you do?
Most of the time I don't. I hate that too. I will try to be like radio silent, or like if it's a really big game, I'll like text certain people and be like, "Don't talk to me." But
Do you put your phone
yeah,
on Do Not Disturb? Do you go Do Not
yeah,
Disturb? Okay.
sometimes or sometimes like I'll kind of forget that the game is going. I'll hop on ESPN and then I'll be like, "Oh
Oh,
shoot." Like I saw the score and then I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm not watching that game."
well, yeah, and especially if they're up by like 20 runs, you're like, okay, well, this is pointless to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm the same way. My wife is a huge Lions fan, so she's been loving life the past few years. And on a Sunday, if we're busy, like she will turn her phone off. Like she
just
won't even
turned it off
like, yeah,
completely.
just completely off. Which I feel like no one does that anymore. No one ever has their phone off completely. So anyway,
Not a bad approach because that probably works pretty well.
yeah, exactly. But I actually, so that's the thing is I love watching pickleball. Obviously, we have a podcast about it. But if it's like the finals and it's kind of who we know or who we think's going to win, that's kind of my main complaint, right? There's not as much parity at the top level. I actually really enjoy watching the. That's why I love like the progressive draw where there's the round of 64 on Tuesday, round of 32 on Wednesday, and so forth. I like that because I like to watch some of the lesser known players on the smaller courts, or some of the players that I just enjoy watching, even though they're not going to maybe make it to the round of 16. Anyway, that's fun for me. So whatever. All right. With that said, I'm going to give you guys an update. I forgot to do this last podcast on the Kalshi app. That is the official PPA betting app. It's weird that I can bet in the state of Utah because you can't actually bet. So I don't know how this is legal, but it is. So you bet, but then you can also kind of withdraw and like only lose some of your money, if that makes sense. So let's say I bet $10 on
Interesting.
on Anna Leigh Waters to win the gold medal, right? And it's pretty limited on what you can do. First of all, you can't you can sometimes bet like Anna Leigh playing I don't know, Caitlin Christian or something, right? Like if it's an upcoming match, sometimes. But for the majority of it, you just pick who you think is going to win the gold. Like either they're going to win or they're not going to win. So you can bet against people winning and certain odds, and you can bet for people winning. And it's funny. So just to give you an example, when I put the bet on Anna Leigh Waters to win the gold, which again not a big deal, I think you bet $10 and you'd win 15. I'm like, that's a pretty good bet on somebody who has 162 gold medals. Like I don't remember the last time she's lost a singles match. So like to me that's easy money. And not that I'm doing this more for fun because again I put in $50. I have 66.15 right now just for the record. So I'm up
Nice.
$16.15. A couple of the bets that I did. One of the things that's interesting is you can bet on somebody, and if they're looking like, or you're getting nervous, you can kind of pull out of the bet with just losing a little bit, or sometimes gaining some. So, for example, John Lucian Goins, who had won those two PPAs in a row, the singles, he was like a 5% chance of winning. And so I think if I bet like, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was like $5 and you could win like 120 if he wins, right? Um, and again, he's really good. He's won two in a row. There's a chance that he can do it, sure. He kept on winning and I kept getting nervous. And then again, the cool thing about Kalshi, and maybe not so cool, is that you can look at it and see, oh man, if he loses, I've so for example, the round of 16, I think I had made like I could cash out, I guess, essentially for like $10. So I basically doubled my money, right? And I can cash out if I'm giving up on Goins, right? Or I could keep going with him. And he was getting set to play Chris Hayworth. And I'm like, oh man, Chris Hayworth's so good. He's not really a 16 seed because he came from the PPA. He's kind of like John Lucian Goins, where he kind of came out of nowhere, at least from the PPA's perspective. So it's like, man, this is a really good battle. Hayworth's really good. I've already made like, $5 on this. I'm just gonna pull out. And it's a good thing I did because Chris Hayworth went on to win the gold. So now here's the other problem. You can also bet on people to lose. And I don't know when I must have a bad memory. I don't actually drink, so I can't blame it on that. But I don't remember betting that Chris Hayworth wouldn't win, but I did. And I also bet that Christian Alshon wouldn't win. So at some point in the week, I said, hey, these two aren't going to win. And it was like, you bet $10 and you can win, I don't know, it was like 15 or 12, I don't whatever it was. But I put like $10 on each of them to lose. Well, they end up playing in the finals. And I'm like, okay,
Oh, nice.
well, I basically broke even because Hayworth won. So anyway, just be careful and remember what you guys bet. So
Wait,
again,
so I mean, do you ever put money on like any other sports? Because
I
I've done
put
that like once or twice, drove down to Mesquite across the border and,
yeah
did it in person because I'm about, 35, 40 minutes from
from
the
the
little
board.
podunk city in Nevada.
Yeah, exactly. So I did. I had a trade show in Vegas a couple years ago, and I had some time to kill, and I was just in the sports area where it's just screens everywhere. You've seen those, right? And they're like, "Hey, you want to sign up for bet on the MGM app?" I'm like, "All right, cool." They're giving like some promo. I'm like, all right, and I don't bet a lot. I actually would rather just go shopping and buy something because I hate losing money. Um, and in fact, I have a funny story that might be worth mentioning on the podcast. But if you want to hear it, let me know. It's about when I turned 21 and my dad took me gambling. And this
Want
is
to hear
maybe
it? Yes.
okay. So I'll tell you in a second. But anyway, so I put like $50 and I put like $10 on the Ravens for the Super Bowl and $10 on the Lions for my wife for the Super Bowl. And then because it's futures, you can always cancel it or whatever. But anyway, I bet on a couple games there, and I'm like, because again, if you're in the state, in the state, you can bet. And then I'm like, this is dumb. I don't know. I just hate losing money. So anyway, I have bet on other sports, but man, betting on football might as well go burn some money in the backyard, especially this year. Holy
Yeah, for
cow.
real.
I'm in like a pick 'em league where all you have to do is pick who wins the games, and I am absolutely terrible. So anyway, whatever.
So it's not, but you mentioned Kalshi's pretty like limited. Is it, there's not
It's
probably like a lot of like live, is there
so
like a lot
sorry.
of live prop bets and stuff like that?
There's
Or,
not a lot of, as far as I've seen, there's not a lot of prop bets, but there is live stuff. So you can, it's funny. Like you can actually, I don't tell Kalshi, but it seems like sometimes the conclusion has happened and you can still cash out like on a loss. You know what I mean? So like, yeah,
oh,
you're gonna lose a little money, but like there was one where I'm like, wait a minute, this person is literally 1 point away from losing, and then they score, and I'm still looking at the app, and I'm like, wait, I can still cash this out. I'm gonna cash out and like get out of the bet. So it doesn't seem like they're super live, at least in the PPA. Maybe they are better in football and stuff where there's actually more money going around.
interesting. Yeah.
But there's not a lot of prop bets like, will they win by X number of points or, and I haven't, honestly, I haven't looked at football. Excuse me. So I don't know about the prop bets on football. I did bet like a buck on the Ravens and lost it, of course, because they're terrible this year against the Rams. But it was like one of those things where you bet a buck and you're going to win like five because they were, they were such dogs. Anyway, okay. So does that make sense? I mean, does that answer your question about
Yeah.
Kalshi? It's
Yep.
fun. It's cool that it's legal in Utah. Again, it's weird that it's not like a normal it's not like the MGM app. There's definitely not as many prop bets, but it's cool that you can bet on pickleball, and it's kind of fun to it kind there's just something about it. Even if it's a buck or two, you're like, again, a buck or two is not going to kill most people, and it's not going to kill me. So, but you're still like, dude, why did you lose? Like, come on, Hayworth, why'd you beat my guy or whatever, right? So it makes it kind of fun, and I'm just glad it's available, to be honest, because I think
Yeah,
it helps the sport grow. However, there's going to be some issues. We'll talk about it after I tell you my story. Um, all right, so quick story. My family's not a gambling family, as you probably know, but maybe the listeners don't know that. But I turned 21, and my dad said, "I'm going to take you somewhere special on your 21st birthday." And I'm like, "Okay, it's pretty weird. I have no idea what he's talking about." This is we lived in Oregon at the time, and my brother's like, I don't know if we should say this on the podcast, but my brother's like, he's going to take you to a strip club. I'm like, no, my dad is not going to take me there. He would never do
nah,
that.
he doesn't seem like the type of guy to
No,
do
no,
that.
absolutely not. That's why it was so funny because my brother was just like, whatever. And anyway, so he's like, I'm going to take you. It's kind of a rite of passage because you're 21. I'm like, okay, rite of passage, weird. He's like, yeah, we're going to go to some Indian land. Now you got to remember this was, the 90s, so Indian casinos were not common, at least to my knowledge back then. So, Indian land, rite of passage. I'm like, are we going to go do like some sort of weird rain dance? Like, we're not Native American. This makes no sense. Like, what is going on? Anyway, so we start driving out towards the coast. We live in Salem, and we're driving, and I'm just dying of curiosity. Well, anyway, he says, "All right, pull over here," and then I finally dawns on me, oh, this is an Indian casino. Like, we could actually gamble on this reservation land. And so then he like does the dad thing. Yep, I just thought it'd be fun to teach you. I wanted to teach you a lesson about gambling. Now that you're old enough, son, just know that you can gamble, but just do it for fun and only plan. He's basically just plan on a certain amount that you're going to lose, and you just call it entertainment, and that's what you're going to lose, and you don't plan on winning. And I'm like, okay, Dad, cool, cool. I'm like, this is awesome, right? And I'm 21 years old. I have no money. He gives me like 20 bucks, and I can barely get a seat at the slots, right? So I hop on the slots. I put my 20 bucks in. It's like quarters, right? It's a quarters machine, and I'm just like pulling the arm down, I'm loving it, right? And then uh, the guy next to me finally leaves, so that my dad can sit down and instead of being standing behind me, he can sit down and start betting himself. So he puts like literally one quarter in, pulls the handle once. Ding, 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 starts going crazy. And he wins 75 bucks on one quarter pull on his very first one. So I lean over
Wow.
to him. I lean over to him. I said, "Nice lesson, Dad." And he starts laughing. So anyway, we ended up paying for our little
Nice.
lunch and the rest of our gambling time. I'm like, yeah, good job, Dad. You really taught me the lesson. Literally, I mean, this is like something you see in the movie and you wouldn't believe it, but it was his very first pull, one quarter, 75 bucks. So again, not like
Pretty
not
good
cheap.
though.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was quarters though. I mean,
Yeah, it was quarters and it was one quarter because you could obviously bet more, And if he would have, it would have been great. But yeah, it was just funny. So that's my gambling story. So, all right, let's move on to the controversy. And this kind of goes along with betting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, and I'm not sure how to say this, Dennis Uspensky's suspension?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna guess too. I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be Uspensky, so we're gonna go with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dennis Uspensky got hit with a 90-day suspension from the PPA tour after making some really bad line calls and acting out on the court, which I guess included swearing and getting aggressive during a match, which
some
yikes.
slurs. He used some
Oh,
slurs that
geez.
would not be appropriate.
Oh, man. Other pros slammed his behavior, said he should be banned, but he is certainly standing by his competitive attitude. He is doubling down and tripling down,
So before you
even
get
though
the,
he
yeah,
even though
okay, go
he
ahead.
said he'd still agree to serve the suspension. So
So, yeah, so before let's give some context here. You've seen the video, I've seen the video. If you haven't seen the video, I guess we should be way better and just put videos on our YouTube page or whatever. But whatever, it is what it is. So there's this video, and he literally there's balls that are it's a singles play, and this is a PPA. Oh shoot, I can't remember what they call it. It's the lower ranking PPA league, so it's not like the regular PPA. It's kind of the Challenger Series. So it's like
challengers, yeah, I was gonna say,
you're trying to work your way up and get points. And if you get enough points, you can move into the regular PPA. So again, this is kind of like the minor leagues. So imagine this: you're at the minor leagues, and he's playing singles. There's like four different things that this video has. This guy recorded the video. It's just on the side, and you can clearly see the ball hitting like a foot in the court multiple times. And the guy's like, "Oh, it's out," and then so obviously the competitor's like, "No, that was clearly in." Like, but there's nothing you can do because in the PPA, especially on the side courts, there's no challenge. There's no um, there's no video review on the side courts. So this is a big issue on the side courts. If you're on the main court or the grandstand court, typically there's video review, so you can have challenges, etc. But it's called hooking. So like that's what it's called when somebody's calls something specifically out and it's in and you know it's in. Anyway, so he hooks this guy like four times and the guy challenges him and he drops a slur. And it basically says, "Let's go fight. You want to like go fight?" It's just so
yeah, it
ridiculous.
was interesting.
This is the exact guy that I would not want to run into on like playing pickleball, like just randomly at the park. He's just so ridiculous. I mean, I love
Yeah.
pickleball, but this is not the Super Bowl, right? So anyway, he that's what happened, and so he gets called out. There's video. I mean, this guy can't deny it. So so tell us what he says when he doubles down, and then we'll get to the triple down.
Yeah, so this is his Instagram page, Dennis Uspensky 1996. I guess I am pickleball's bad boy. If you want your shot, come play me on the official or APP tour and PPA tour. A real athlete has arrived. Man, this guy. From playing Grand Slams to now playing pickleball, I'm confident I'll be at the top of the game soon, ready to play all of you unathletic, stalking basement dwellers with a clown emoji and a bunch of ha ha ha's would be biggest loss for everyone.
Okay, so that's
Very
he doubles down, and everyone just can't believe it. Like there's a bunch of pros calling him out. Like the dude, you're on the Challenger tour. You've never beat anybody like of note. So then what does he say? He gets another chance. What does he say?
yeah. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I'm forced to take it. Cool. I'll take my 90 days and sit, but don't get it twisted. I'm not going anywhere. I'm ready to battle anyone anytime right now. I don't need full-time training to be top 10 in the world. I'm already there. This is just funny. I respect the game, just not the softness around it. This isn't a sport built on soft feelings. It's built on fire, drive, and edge. So in 90 days, I'm coming back to show you exactly what the best player in the world looks like. I'll be in Boca Raton if anyone wants to run it. Let's play for your drip. No cameras, no refs, and a bunch of ha ha ha's. Just your paddle and your pride. Come get it. And yeah, the RPM paddle, absolute garbage.
Which
And
is
then he
James
tagged.
James
There we go.
Ignatowicz's paddle brand.
Yep.
So I don't know why he had to add that in there, but yeah,
Is that a picture? Is that a picture of him
that's a
playing
picture of
tennis
him
at
playing tennis
collegiately at Wake Forest?
correct. Yeah, he played tennis at Wake Forest, and then has
Oh,
picked up pickleball. So nothing more manly than a tennis player, right? Like it's not like you're afraid of a tennis player, but whatever. So what do you think about this
yeah.
guy?
Uh, total a-hole. That's what I think. I mean, he clearly on the hooking stuff, like that was pretty egregious. You sent me the video so I could watch it
Yeah,
because I heard about him getting suspended, but I didn't see really the reason why.
right.
That was pretty bad. And then just the fact that he just basically goes on social media and claims that he's the best. I'm like, dude, I've never heard of you before. You played tennis at Wake Forest. Like, get off your high horse. Not to mention he's in
Do,
the Challenger Series.
right.
It's not even in the
I
real
mean,
thing.
honestly, do you even know a collegiate tennis player? Like most,
Uh,
I don't know a single one.
no, other than the ones at like Utah Tech a little bit,
Sure,
I
sure,
guess.
local ones, but like,
Yeah, that's it though.
I mean, if you're good at tennis, you're like 13 and you're playing like on the tennis tour, right? Like if you're really
Yeah.
good at tennis and that young. So, I mean, obviously, if you're collegiate, maybe you can break out. I'm not trying to say. I'm just saying they're not well known. So,
No, they're not.
anyway, all right. Well, here's the so let's just quickly talk then about the issue of cheating because you're calling your own lines. What can they do? I mean, what do you think, Spencer?
Well, they obviously can't do much. I mean, you would love to see like officials or like a video review on every court, but that's just not possible. Especially,
So yeah, let me
you go to
clarify
these
one.
tournaments.
Let's
Oh
clarify
no, go
one
ahead.
thing. There is an official at every court. However, most of the time they're on the side, looking right they're like right in front of the net. They're usually looking for foot faults.
Yeah,
But they should, I think, overturn egregious calls like that. So, but anyway, go
I
ahead.
think
I mean,
so.
but
Yeah, basically
there
like
is
a
not replay at every side court. That's true.
yeah, there's not, and there's a lot of obviously you go to these tournaments and they're playing on tons of different courts, so that's just probably not very realistic possibility. But I would love to see like, yeah, if there's an official there, then why can't they just overturn it if it really is that bad?
Yeah,
Because they were really bad.
they were, and yeah. Anyway, that's what I think, and I think what you could do. I mean, I think the suspension is helpful. Again, it's the Challenger Series, and again, I think the Challenger Series is cool and it's great, but this smaller type tournament, like basically cut this off at the pass, right? Like, and unfortunately there's players that are kind of known for hooking, for calling things in their favor. I try and I now I play recreationally, right? But I lean on the side of like if it's close, just let's just call it in. Who cares? Like I don't, you know what I mean? That's just me though. And I'm not playing for money or anything like that. So or pride. So not that good. Not good enough to play for pride yet. So all right, well let's end on a good note. We'll get to the upcoming stuff in a minute, but there's been a study that shows that playing more pickleball improves your mental well-being. Um, I don't know, like that's cool and it's all great for like the growth of pickleball. Everyone's excited about the growth, but like really getting out and playing any sport, wouldn't that kind of be helpful for you regardless,
Was
right?
kind of my thought too. I'm like, okay, that seems a little like who did this study? Was that
Right.
supposed to be like a
Yeah.
study that only promoted pickleball?
Exactly. Like, I mean, it's cool. I love pickleball, and I do agree that it's fun. But like, when I used to play a lot of pickup basketball, it was awesome. I loved it. You know what I mean? And anyway, so I think any sort of athletic activity that's gets you moving. I mean, walking your dog probably improves your mental your mental well-being as well. So get out there and uh, do something. Touch grass, as they say, which I think
Yeah,
is
active. Yeah,
I don't know. What do you? I can't stand that saying. Touch grass. Some of the sayings that people come up with are just bad.
yeah,
Like
that's not a good one.
it's pretty dumb. Like
Yeah, just
anyway,
get out and move and be active.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Go do something for crying out loud. Come on, guys. All right. So let's talk about what is going on this weekend for pickleball. There's a unique tournament. It's lifetime, called the Lifetime Open or LT Open, and it is singles only. There's a prize pool of 250K. It's head-to-head elimination, basically just, kind of like March Madness, right? 64 people. You get paid out if you're at the round of 32, then you get some sort of payout, 50 grand per winner for each gender. So the women champion will win 50, the men's champion will also win 50, and then obviously the rest is distributed however they distribute it. So it's kind of a unique tournament. The PPA, which again, the UPA, who owns the PPA and MLP, is allowing their people to compete there, which is usually it's pretty rare because I believe they're contractually obligated to only play in the PPA or the MLP. So what is interesting about that is the APP, which is the secondary, I'll say it, the secondary tour, pickleball tour, Association of Pickleball Player, Professional Pickleballers or something like that. I don't know. So Will Howes will be there. You might know him from the MLP. He's on the New Jersey Fives. Bobby Oshiro is also, she's really talented as well. So this is the one time where you get to see the PPA players against some of the APP because a lot of people will say, "Oh, we're if you play in the APP and you're somebody like Will Howes who's triple crowning in the APP or just as good as somebody in the AP in the PPA." I don't think that's true, but we'll see at least in the singles. So, what do you think about this tournament? That's kind of unique.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I like it. It's pretty good prize purse from what I know about pickleball money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
But
think
I've no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no, keep going.
No, I was just saying that I like that it mixes PPA and APP. Maybe you'll see how good some of these APP players are, considering that, yeah, most people say that that's kind of the second tier competition.
Correct. And I also so Will Howes is the guy to talk about here because he does play on the MLP in the MLP, right, which is under that umbrella for the UPA. And but he also plays on the APP. So it's like he's kind of in between on one side of the fence anyway. And so people always talk about him being like what would he be in the PPA? Would he be a, top 10, whatever. I think he's really good at singles, so that's going to be interesting. But the only time you ever get to see him is when he's on the in the team format of MLP. So this is kind of one of those like uh, opportunities for them to really say, "Hey, we are as good as we are better than people think we are."
A
So
proving ground for the
yeah,
APP.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna stick with the PPA. I think they have more talent. I don't think there's a question of that. But
I
there
know.
might be. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I know you like watching pickleball and that you mostly watch MLP and PPA. Do you ever watch APP or is that just kind of like
Sometimes, yeah. If the PPA is not on and the APP is like the only tour that's going, I will turn it on. But I kind of feel like it's the production quality is not as good. I definitely will watch it, but I'm definitely not as invested, and I definitely don't know the players as well. The thing about it is, you have people like Chris Hayworth who came from the APP and he's just won the PPA, and now his doubles isn't as good, but his singles is excellent, and that's maybe where people will come and shine. But there are people like that kind of show you that hey, this is where we want to be. And I'm not sure if we've talked about this yet, Spencer, but they are moving to more of a prize money centric tour of the PPA next year. So there's less guaranteed money, so it should there should be people that are just showing up and playing not to their fullest ability. People actually there'll be money on the line, so it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, I'm going off here.
it'll be more like a golf tournament
Yeah,
prize
golf
purse type thing?
or like tennis, like regular tennis. So people that so just to clarify, it's people right now the contracts due to the tour wars between MLP and PPA before they combined. Um, they were basically they were overpaying to get talent. So the PPA so they didn't want to let the MLP get like Ben Johns or Anna Leigh Waters. So they overpaid in theory for a bunch of people, and then they ended up merging. So now they're paying overpaying on two different leagues. And so they
Crazy.
basically said renegotiate. The short version of this is let's renegotiate. We'll give you less of a guaranteed money. Like let's say you're making $1 million, right? We'll give you, and I'm making up the numbers, 500,000 guaranteed, but then you have access to X prize pool if you sign by this date. And this was a couple months ago. If you don't sign by this date and accept the lesser pay, you could keep your guaranteed contract, but when you play for a prize pool, you're getting much less. So if you stayed guaranteed and made more money guaranteed, but you maybe win something instead of winning, I'm making up the number, $50,000, you might win $10,000, and it's way lower. So there are a few people who basically said like, I don't care, I'm tired of you guys, renegotiating our contracts. I'm going to stay at the guaranteed. So their access to the prize pool is much smaller than somebody who renegotiated. So that's a short version of that. I don't really care to get too more into it than that, but it definitely sets up to be, I think, better in the long term for the PPA. Okay, with that said, Lifetime Open, it starts on Friday. You can watch it on YouTube. The PPA's broadcasting on YouTube. Then it goes to regular Pickleball TV on Saturday and Sunday. So check that out if you like. The week after is exciting. This starting on the 21st. This is also a cup. It's the Las Vegas Cup. And it starts on the 21st with the round of 64. 22nd, which is Wednesday, will be the round of 32, round of 16 on Thursday, and so forth till you get to the finals on Sunday, the 26th. I will be there. If you want to come find me, please do. Come say how much you love the podcast. That would be fantastic. But I'm excited to give you guys kind of a recap after that from the actual venue and let you know what I thought. So, Spencer, I know you're busy, but you are 2 hours away. If somehow you can break away, let me know. We'll get you a ticket and get you there.
Will
But
do.
I don't know if it's going to happen. Um, but
I was really looking at it and then just, yeah, we've got a bunch of sports at Utah Tech that, so I probably won't be able to make it,
this
but if
guy
I do,
juggles
I will let you
way more than most should. So, good thing you're young, Spencer. All right.
know. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Remember to tell your friends about the Poachers Pickleball podcast. Thanks to Deja Vega for letting us use their music. Check them out on Spotify if you like. And we'll catch you next time on the Poachers Pickleball podcast.